What's good, YouTube? This is Dayton, also known as Zeta CEO, and today I'm going to be doing a simple trade breakdown for what I ended up trading today. So, first of all, we're going to look at is the opening play. So, I'm going to be showing you guys a visualization of this SPY chart just because it's going to be a bit easier to understand if you're not able to trade ES. So, what we see on SPY is this hold of the 439 range on ES, which would be around the 4400 slash 4390.95 area. So on this trade, we ended up seeing this kind of hard push down about a point and a half off the open and then into this lower consolidation zone. Now, the confirmation of this trade was watching the time and sales, the buyers start to come in, the bids start to come in around this 4405 level. That would be on ES, but more around the 439.5 level that came in on SPY as we confirm this break over this candlestick, seen the moving averages cross, and that's where the momentum picked up, and we ended up pushing to our PTs. 441.3, 442.12 was actually my exit. As you can see, we ended up pulling back a bit to the moving average and ran up a bit more. So this was kind of this simple trade right here. A very, very simple trade, but this was a 3R, meaning it was about a 30% return on this trade. Here's the entry right here, and then the exit is going to be right around that level. So with this trade, all we're doing is calculating our risk to reward. Remember, we're trying to figure out, is this trade worth taking based on the risk factor? So we're taking the trade right here. What we can assess from this is, where's our stop loss, right? If we push back to low of day, let me just activate this right here and maybe break below this candlestick, this could be our stop loss. If our stop loss is 10%, let's just say there's a 1R right there, and then what I'm risking is in hopes that SPX, or SPY in this case, will push here. So do you guys kind of understand the risk factor that I'm taking on, right? We're risking this little bit to catch this. So 1R to catch a 3R, which this is a 3R. So if you guys have any questions with this trade, make sure to drop a comment down below. If this makes sense, I'll go more in depth in a webinar very, very soon. So next, we see FOMC, and then this is where I ended up trading SPY 4 more times. I ended up trading SPY around 5 times today, all signaled to the Discord, and all were profitable. So the first initial play, let me pull up the Discord on my phone really quick. So ended up taking SPX calls at 11:02, which is going to be right around this candlestick, pushing into this candlestick, pushing into high of day. We had contracts average of 2.65. Contracts then moved to 3.5, and then that's where I ended up trimming around 29%. And then my fills are posted in the Discord as well. That was the first trade for SPY, and this is right into FOMC, which we saw this heavy break. Now, what I signal to the Discord is that we're watching this 440 break to the downside. So we ended up getting a pretty heavy push to the downside right here. You know, when we're trading 0 DTE contracts, we're able to capitalize off these moves in a much better manner. We're obviously getting this 30%, 25% profits with only a simple point move. But remember, if it reverses, you know, your theta, everything's going to get burned. So you want to make sure you're being very cautious with this trade. Caught this initial 440 break, flushed all the way down to 438 point around 7 area. We ended up taking out 75% on the way down, and then ended up leaving 2 runner contracts. You know, it pushed back up 440, already secured in profit. So we're leaving these 2 last runners basically to see, like I said again, calculating our risk to reward, right? We can put our stop, you know, another 1R kind of a tighter stop with this one, and then we're looking to see this break toward the low of day, which ended up happening later on. Didn't unfortunately happen right here, which is kind of good at the same time because it just shows a bit of healthy movement. We don't really want to see just an instantaneous break to the downside. So we ended up stopping out actually right here. I took one in profit around 15% instead of that initial around 27%, and then stopped the other contract out right here around break even. So that was that trade. Another great trade on SPY. And then the next trade that I ended up having was, let's see, pull this chart. Okay, so we then took SPY below this 439 level, and this is where we had another heavy flush. And then Discord ended up flash crashing, which caused my signal to not go through, which I sent proof that I sent the signal for all of those people who think I didn't. 437.6 low of day break on SPY to the downside, ended up flushing heavily about a 7-point move all the way to the PTs 434, 431, and then even 430, which was a psych level. So it ended up kind of holding there, and that's what I ended up taking for SPY again to the downside. So we're kind of just taking these scalps on SPY recently. Also took an opening drive play with NVIDIA. I ended up swinging NVIDIA actually, but we broke this 234 level off the opening drive and pushed to PTs at 235. So that was kind of a simple trade just to add in with the swing. Swinging off yesterday's kind of consolidation level as we've seen strength in price action. This was more of a risky trade to take, and I'm swinging solely with profits. So if you guys have any questions about the trades that I ended up taking today, make sure to drop a comment down below. But yep, that's basically it for today's trade. Remember, you always want to assess your risk in the current market conditions that we're in, and make sure you guys are having a plan for your trades. So I'll make sure to do a webinar very soon explaining more of risk to reward factor and how we capitalize, especially in the market we're in right now. So everybody, I hope you have a great night. Stay blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.